A feast. Spiced ham, carb turkey, prime rib on the weekends. At a price that lets me treat the whole family. Doesn't get more festive than that. Or does it?
Prime rib weekends at Golden Corral. The only one for everyone.
Here, first things first, let's talk Super 6 Sunday. One of the matchups this week is the 49ers against the Saints. Nick, who wins and by how much?
The Saints win, and they win by 3. Close game. I think these are two very, very good teams. I think the Saints, because it's at home and because they can beat you throwing or running the football, I like them in this matchup. Keep the Niners pass rush a little off balance.
I'm in the exact same spot with you. I'm going to go with Saints by 3 as well. If you look at the matchups here, Sean Payton and Drew Brees versus Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo, give me Brees and Payton. It shouldn't be disrespectful at all to Shanahan and Garoppolo. Their future is clearly bright, but playing at home, playing in the Dome, I think it'll be a field goal game. I also think the winner of this game is going to face the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC Championship.
Oh, how about that? Multi-level take. I like that.
There you go.
Well done, Danny. By the way, America, just so you know, I'm going to win Super 6 this weekend, so you should play as well, and we can have a multi-way chop. But I feel so... I'm going to go 6 for 6 on the games, and at least 4 out of 6 on the scores, but I think 6 out of 6. And I need that $250,000 because I haven't done as well on some of the other picks. So I'm just letting you know I'm going to win this weekend, just so everybody knows.
All right.
Fox Bet's the best thing that ever happened to you.
The Super 6, it's the greatest.
Before the games kick off on Sunday, download the Fox Sports Super 6 app, play for free for a chance to win $250,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money, which Nick is going to win this week.
I'm going to win.
Time for stories to start your morning. Last night, the Bears handed Dallas their 3rd straight loss. Cowboys have now lost 7 of their last 10. Nick, is it time for everyone to just admit the Cowboys are not that good?
You can't be the league's #1 offense while also being a top 10 defense and not be, in theory, a good team. But that's all they are, is a theoretical good team. So I guess it depends on what you define it by. The last 2.5 months, they have played terrible situational football, and they have been, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I would imagine it's so frustrating because it's the hardest type of team to root for. Because even in their awful games, they show you their moments of brilliance. How the first drive against Buffalo, the first drive against Chicago, and then they get punched and they wilt. And so it depends on how you define a good team, Dan.
They're a talented team. They're not a good football team. I mean, good football teams are determined by wins and losses, and clearly they're not a good football team losing 3 in a row, but they are talented. That's the thing that's got to be most frustrating for Cowboys fans, saying, how can this happen? That's why a lot of the criticism is being heaped on Jason Garrett. This team is facing a crisis of confidence right now, and you can see it in their eyes. You can see it in the reflection of their play. Jerry Jones said, all we need is a win, and he's right in that aspect.
Yeah, style points don't matter.
No, they can win ugly. They can win horrifically, but they just need a win, something that is escaping them right now, and they're pressing. You can literally see them pressing, which is what happens in this type of situation. They need to just try to ignore the noise, put it aside, and go out there and just play football, but it's much easier said than done.
Moving on, Odell Beckham Jr. following up a season to forget last year with the Giants with a season to forget this year with the Cleveland Browns, averaging a career low 67 receiving yards per game. Recently, he was asked about his future in Cleveland, and he was extremely vague with his answer, saying, I couldn't tell you what's going to happen. Nick, what do you make of OBJ's comments?
Listen, some people like this about Odell. I'm one of those people. Some people don't. But Odell, to his own detriment at times, is always honest. What he got in trouble for last year, a year where he really wasn't a distraction, was that interview with Josina Anderson and Lil Wayne when he was asked, is Eli part of the problem? And he wasn't honest there. The honest answer was, hell, are you watching? But he said, I don't know. And that created an issue. Here, what's your future? I don't know. That's the honest answer. But he's going to get pounced on it because of it's the honest answer. He could have said, no, I just want to be here. But I don't think he even knows if the Browns want him there, given the fact that it looks like they have enough weapons. What they need is some more big people, and he's their most valuable trade chip because while his numbers are down, Danny, Baker's the 33rd rated passer in football. He's doing the best he can given the production at the quarterback position.
You know who you should be honest with? Your friends, your family, your teammates. You know you should lie to? The media. Give them what they just silence this. You want to put this to bed. Say, no, what are you guys talking about? Of course I'm not going anywhere. I'm a Cleveland Brown. I'm going to finish out this year. We're going to try to still win games. And that's it. One simple answer to the question. When you open up the can of worms saying, I can't tell you I want to be here or not be here, that's going to fuel their fire. All your critics are going to have a field day with this, bringing it up there saying, see, this is what, this is the cancer in the locker room.
No, right there.
No, I wish he could, not, I don't want to say fall in line, but I wish he would kind of get it as a pro who has been in the league long enough to understand what you do and the distraction that you become when you give answers like this. Yes, it is okay to lie to the media.
Yeah, you prefer lies.
All right, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will be up in Buffalo for a pivotal AFC matchup against the Bills. The Ravens are big 6-point road favorites, according to our guys at Fox Bet. Nick, should the Ravens be on upset alert against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills?
I don't think the Ravens are going to lose, first of all. But, yeah, the Bills are very well coached. They know exactly who they are, and they do that very well. And Josh Allen, quietly, the last month and a half of the season, has done a really good job protecting the football. And I would argue he is the second best running quarterback in football behind Lamar Jackson. That he's dynamic as a runner, and he's a big physical punishing runner. So there's a lot of things where the Bills in Buffalo can present problems for you. The question for Baltimore is this: are they going to be able to continue this red hot streak of the last 6 weeks? It's not just that they've won 6 games in a row like this. It's who they've beaten and how they've beaten them. They have won at Seattle by 14, against New England by 17, played one bad team, Cincinnati. They beat them by 36, beat Houston by 34, beat the Rams by 39, and then in really awful conditions, played the Niners, who were one of the best teams in football, or one of the best teams in football, beat them 20-17. They're outscoring their opponents in the stretch with really, you have Seahawks, New England, Houston, San Francisco, 4 of the top 7 teams in football. Average score of 37-13. I don't know if you can keep up that hot of streak moving forward. You saw the offense take a bit of a step back in San Francisco, but conditions in defense. So, yeah, they've got to be on upset alert. This isn't the Bengals, clearly. This is a really good team and a team, Danny, they might have to play come the postseason, but I don't think they're going to lose to Buffalo.
I think they need to be on upset alert. I love the Bills with the number, getting 5.5 points, playing at home. I think if Lamar Jackson was not playing, like let's just say Joe Flacco had, played fine, he wasn't, we would be raving about Josh Allen and how he is changing the game. I mean, it's over the course of their 2 years playing, he has 5 more rushing touchdowns than Lamar does. Of course, he doesn't have the dynamic, escapability and just electricity that you can see with Lamar Jackson.
And raw rushing.
Yeah, he's raw rushing yards, but he is actually playing really good football. You mentioned that. I think a critical stat to watch out for, it's kind of a unique one. If he completes 60% or more of his passes, they are 11-0. In this game, I think he can do that. I think they're going to have a game plan. It's going to be a little bit more conservative. And I think their defense may be one of the first ones that can at least contain Lamar Jackson somewhat. I would not envision Lamar Jackson to have another 100-yard rushing a day against this Bills defense. So I think they should be on upset alert. And it shouldn't take away from the Ravens. I still think the Ravens are the best team in the AFC, but the gauntlet of the NFL schedule, 16 games, putting it all together, the intensity level, all these, and taking it on the road, I think it could catch up to them this weekend.
Can Buffalo take anything away from what San Francisco did to Baltimore last week?
My only question there is how much of that was the conditions.
Right. I think a lot of it was.
But what every team is going to take away from not just San Francisco, but the game plan with Baltimore is very simple. You have to almost totally disrespect anything outside the hashes. You have to say, hey, if Hollywood Brown is going to kill us over the top, if Lamar is going to have one of his better deep downfield outside the hashes passing game, we're drawing dead. You have to try to put a disproportionate focused on the middle of the field for the short passes to the tight ends and for Lamar running in that read option scheme. That is what San Francisco was doing. Lamar had barely over 100 yards passing, and I think the receiver with the most receiving yards against San Francisco is Willie Snead with 12. And so you just have to leave wide receivers one-on-one and put all your personnel in the middle of the field. That is the way to slow them down. The reason Baltimore's so dangerous, and forget how well their defense is playing as of late, is Lamar has evolved enough as a passer that if he's having a good day as a passer, then you can't beat him. Like, you're going to need Lamar to be erratic throwing the football if you're going to beat them, because they are so dominant rushing the football, and they all of a sudden have a far improved defense since the trade for Marcus Peters.
The weather actually became a help to the defense when you can take away, because the underneath throws, the shorter ones to your tight end, those are a little bit easier to get a little velocity. You can spin it a little bit tighter. When you're trying to make the harder throws down the field, the elements become much more of a factor. So that absolutely played to the 49ers' favor in that game.
And just real quick, credit to Josh Allen, because he was a punchline for me. I didn't understand why they took him at number 6. I still don't know if in a few years that pick's going to look like the right one. But this year, only Lamar, Deshaun, Russell, and Dak have accounted for more touchdowns at the quarterback position. Over the last 8 weeks of football, he's only thrown 2 interceptions. He is really, he's not just a passenger on the Bills train the last few months. He's been one of the driving forces, and I never saw that coming. So even if he can't sustain it, credit to Josh Allen, who I poked a lot of fun at his rookie season.
8 straight games accounting for multiple touchdowns, best in franchise history.
He's been really good.
To go along with a good defense and Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott has been
coaching
excellent,
a really great team this year. All right.